You think you know Anubis, the jackal-headed god of the dead. What if he was a pharaoh, ruler of a forbidden cult, guarding secrets that could unravel everything we know about ancient Egypt? For millennia, Anubis has been depicted as a somber psychopomp, guiding souls through the underworld. But whispered legends, fragments of unearthed scrolls, and hidden hieroglyphs suggest a far more radical truth. An era where Anubis was not merely a deity, but a mortal king, a pharaoh whose very existence was erased from history, his followers branded as heretics. Tonight we dive into the chilling narrative of Anubis, the pharaoh, the forbidden cult that revered him, and the earth-shattering truths he fought to protect. Secrets so potent the very foundation of the Egyptian empire sought to bury them forever. To understand the heresy, we must first understand the orthodoxy. Ancient Egypt was a land bound by divine order. The pharaoh was a living god, a bridge between humanity and the pantheon. The gods, like Ra, Osiris, Isis, and yes, Anubis, each had their celestial roles, their place in the cosmic dance. Anubis, the webwort opener of the ways, presided over mummification, guarded tombs, and judged souls alongside Osiris. His image, stoic and vigilant, was etched into countless sarcophagi and temple walls, a reassuring presence in the terrifying journey to the Duat. Yet, history is rarely linear, and belief even less so. Our story begins not in the Golden Age, but in a period of profound shadow, an era known only through fragmented accounts and heavily censored records. Imagine Egypt, not as a unified empire but as a fractured mosaic of warring nomes, its sacred traditions weakening, its pharaohs increasingly viewed as impotent. This was a time ripe for radical ideas, for a desperate people to seek salvation beyond the failing established order. This was the fertile ground from which the impossible notion of Anubis, the pharaoh, began to sprout. The problem for the orthodox priesthood was monumental. How could a god walk among mortals, wear the double crown, and claim dominion over the living? Such a belief undermined the very fabric of their religion, the divinity of the current pharaoh, and the carefully constructed hierarchy of the heavens. This wasn't merely dissent, it was a cosmic revolution. Apocryphal texts, discovered in long-forgotten burial sites and now meticulously pieced together, speak of a charismatic figure, not necessarily divine by birth, who rose during this age of chaos. He was said to possess an uncanny wisdom, an ability to commune with the spirits, and a profound understanding of death and rebirth that surpassed even the most revered high priests. He wasn't born Anubis, but Asterisk became him, embodying the very essence of the psychopomp, earning the mantle through acts of profound spiritual insight and miraculous intervention. This nascent movement, shunned by the mainstream, rapidly grew into what we now call the cult of Anubis Pharaoh. Their beliefs were simple, yet devastatingly subversive. They preached that the traditional afterlife, with its elaborate rituals and costly tomb provisions, was a construct, a lie perpetuated by the priesthood to maintain their power. They taught that true passage to the Duat, and indeed, true immortality, was not granted by gold or ceremony, but earned through a profound understanding of one's inner self, a balance of deeds, and a direct, unmediated connection to the cosmic energies of life and death. Their temples were not the grand, sun-drenched structures of Thebes or Karnak. They were often carved into remote cliffs, concealed within winding wadis or disguised within bustling market districts, places where the faithful could gather in secret. Their rituals were stark, focused on introspection, meditation, and a direct communion with the ancestral spirits, bypassing the need for priestly intercession. They believed their pharaoh Anubis possessed the true words of power, the knowledge to navigate the treacherous paths of the afterlife without the traditional safeguards, offering a liberation that terrified the established order. The core of their forbidden truth was this: the core and the bar, the life force and the soul, were not merely components to be carefully preserved and provisioned. They were active agents, capable of incredible transformation, even merging with the divine while still living. Their pharaoh Anubis was said to have achieved this state, transcending mortality to become the living embodiment of the god, not through royal lineage, but through sheer spiritual will and knowledge. This was the ultimate challenge to the divine right of the other pharaohs, reducing them to mere mortals, their claims to divinity hollow. This cult's influence spread like wildfire among the disenfranchised, the intellectually curious, and those disillusioned with the political and religious stagnation. They sought out hidden knowledge, collecting fragmented texts, deciphering obscure symbols, and reconstructing what they believed were the original truths of creation, predating even the Heliopolitan The heretical pharaoh's decrees, whispered through his network of loyal followers, championed communal living, shared knowledge, and a meritocracy based on spiritual wisdom rather than birthright, a vision utterly incompatible with the hierarchical Egyptian society. The climax of this struggle was inevitable, as the cult's power grew, drawing adherents from even the ranks of the nobility and the military. The ruling Orthodox pharaohs and the powerful Amun priesthood launched a merciless counteroffensive. This wasn't just a religious schism, it was a civil war for the soul of Egypt. The records are scant, but what remains paints a picture of brutal suppression. The name of Anubis the pharaoh was meticulously expunged from every monument, every papyrus, every historical record. His followers were hunted down, their sanctuaries desecrated, their sacred texts burned. To mention his name, to even hint at his reign, became a capital offense. It was an intellectual damnatio memoria on an unprecedented scale, designed to erase an entire chapter of history. But what exactly were the forbidden truths he guarded? The cult doctrine, meticulously reconstructed from veiled illusions, hinted at a profound understanding of celestial mechanics and stellar cycles, far beyond what mainstream Egyptologists believed the ancient Egyptians possessed. They spoke of the Great Cycle, a cosmic dance that dictated not just the seasons, but the very ebb and flow of civilizations, knowledge that could predict future cataclysms and golden ages. More controversially, they spoke of humanity's true origin, not as creations of the gods, but as descendants of cosmic travelers, starseeds planted on Earth to evolve and eventually reclaim their celestial heritage. This recontextualized all of Egyptian mythology, transforming the gods into mere guides or reflections of a grander, universal consciousness. Such revelations, if widely known, would not only dismantle the existing power structure but shatter the very meaning of their existence. It was a truth so forbidden, it promised not just to change Egypt, but to fundamentally alter humanity's perception of its place in the cosmos. The tale of Anubis the pharaoh serves as a chilling reminder that history is often written by the victors, and that the most dangerous truths are those that challenge established power. While his name as a pharaoh was erased, his divine aspect endured, morphing back into the god we know, perhaps as a way to assimilate and neutralize his radical message. We may never unearth definitive proof of his earthly reign, but the echoes of his heretical cult and the forbidden truths they guarded continue to whisper from the shadows, daring us to question the narratives we've been given. If you're ready to peel back more layers of ancient secrets, make sure you hit subscribe and check out our next video exploring the true origins of the Sphinx. You think you know Anubis, the jackal-headed god of the dead? What if he was a pharaoh, ruler of a forbidden cult, guarding secrets that could unravel everything we know about ancient Egypt? For millennia, Anubis has been depicted as a somber psychopomp, guiding souls through the underworld. But whispered legends, fragments of unearthed scrolls, and hidden hieroglyphs suggest a far more radical truth. An era where Anubis was not merely a deity, but a mortal king, a pharaoh whose very existence was erased from history, his followers branded as heretics. Tonight we dive into the chilling narrative of Anubis the pharaoh, the forbidden cult that revered him, and the earth-shattering truths he fought to protect. Secrets so potent the very